up across the chest and getting a little bit of movement into the shoulders. And I like to use the roller for this, but if you don't have one of these, you can always roll up a bath sheet, so a nice long thick towel, roll it up nice and tight, and it should give you the same effect as the roller. I usually do these lying down, I just find it more comfortable for me, but if you prefer, you can always stand up and you can put the roller to your back. So if you're lying down, you're going to put the roller along the mat like that, in the middle of the mat, and you're going to sit towards the end of it. So just get your tailbone on the end of it, and you're going to roll yourself back down, and make sure that your head is also on the roller. So if you need to move down a little bit, do that. So you should be nice and steady, feet nice and flat, hip distance apart, or a little wider if you need. And we're going to start with a little bit of arm movement. So before you start, just make sure your back is nice and flat to the mat, your ribs down fairly flat, and take a few breaths in and out just to settle yourself and get into position. And then when you're ready, you're going to have the two palms, I should say, facing each other, and you start to very slowly reach the arms up, and you just go as far as you can. So if you can reach all the way up overhead, do that, and you should, because you have the roller, be able to get a fair bit of movement because you're up off the mat a little bit. And then slowly circle them out and around, and you're still keeping the palms facing each other. And we do this a couple of times, as slowly as you can, taking some breaths in and out. So remember not to hold your breath as you breathe out. Just force the breath out a little bit. Try and keep your ribs down nice and flat. And then you would do the same in the opposite direction. So make sure to go in the opposite direction, because that can sometimes be a little bit more difficult, as we always like to go in the direction that suits us best. Then you can change it to palms up. And what I like to do is when I find a tight spot, I like to just rest in that position and then move on a little bit more and rest in that position and keep going like that. Keep the palms up all the way around, and then again in the opposite direction. Reach as far as you can, palms up, and you should really feel a stretch across the chest as you work like this. And you can just lie there, take your breaths in and out in a position that you find tight. So when you feel a stretch, and you can hold that really for as long as you want, but just a few comfortable breaths in and out, and then move on whenever you're ready. And then you do the same thing with the palms down. I always find this one a little bit more difficult, especially on my left side, which is a little bit tight, so I find that kind of difficult. So then the backs of the hands are towards each other as you're coming back down, and the palms back down again. And again, you can go in the opposite direction with that. So I normally do maybe 4 or 5 of each one of these in both directions. And you get a little bit of a workout for the core as well, because you do have to try and work your core a little bit to keep yourself steady on the roller. So if you can't do that, you can stand up and put the roller at your back against the wall, and you get the same effect. And then if you like, you can reach your arms straight up towards the ceiling and pull down with a straight arm, so you're working your shoulder blades. You should feel your shoulder blades squeezing the roller as you come down. And it feels good. It's like a little massage on your back, especially if you tend to get tight there in between the shoulder blades. It's a nice little workout for those muscles, but also a little bit of a massage for them. And you're trying to get as much of a range as possible without getting too tense in your shoulders. And you're still breathing in and out nice and gently. And then you can drop the arms out and in across. And repeat that a a couple of times. And then back down by your side, and maybe a little bit of movement just from the elbows, or you can try a little bit of internal and external rotation. So you're turning in and out and again. That can be quite difficult depending on your restrictions. Okay, and then relax the arms back down.